Because there was a time in my life I actually got diagnosed with anxiety. And my psychiatrist and the talk therapy literally saved my life.
For many people, yes, they hear about coaching, kaya lang minsan may parang may stigma pa na, nag-work ba yan?
I help people edit their own life stories, reassess and edit how they see their lives, how they see themselves. So to me, that's coaching. Because that's the beauty of coaching. You may come in with a performance issue, but a lot of times, you need to deal with personal, internal stuff.
What surprised you the most from media to coaching?
In coaching, it helps if I'm a more relaxed, calm person. In media, it's very relentless.
Hi everyone, this is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and Tarki, and welcome to Olern Insights, where we distill business strategies and tech into bite-sized learning. I'm here with Miss Nikka Santos, a leadership and team coach. She's also a credentialed ICF coach, International Coaching Federation. Hi, Miss Nikka. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to be here, Jerry.
Yes, thank you for being here sa ating Olern Insights. Yan, siguro for those who don't know you yet, can you tell us your story? I know way back in your early days, you were a media executive, tapos ngayon naging certified coach. So sige, tell us more about yourself.
Okay, so that was a whole lifetime ago. I'd consider myself a broadcast journalist. Back in the day, wala pang internet. Betacam pa yung hindi ganitong setup, no? But at its core, I was really a journalist.
Mm-mm.
My transition came after, of course, I had a family. I focused more on raising my kids. As you know, Jerry, media, especially broadcast media, is very relentless. So I had to make that choice of kind of like still doing media. So I shifted to writing for Working Mom magazine. I taught communication students for college, kind of like so I could manage my time better and focus on my kids. And then eventually, I found myself, there was actually a time I said, oh my gosh, I think I want to go back to school and become a psychiatrist. Because there was a time in my life I actually got diagnosed with anxiety. And my psychiatrist and the talk therapy literally saved my life. Kaya pumasok sa isip ko din yon. But then, my husband and I were raising 2 kids. Parang, how can I even manage medical school? So I parked that for a while. And then when the pandemic came, I had to re-switch my business. I was kind of antsy to do something new. I discovered coaching. So during the pandemic is when I started to train as a coach. I underwent a rigorous training so I could qualify to be an ICF accredited credentialed coach. And I realized, wow, this is better than psychiatry because when you're coaching, you are practicing positive psychology. So psychology for success, not psychology for healing people. Of course, we need that. That will always be important. Pero my excitement really lies in helping people reach their full potential. And plus, it's more fun. It's not
Hindi ba masyadong
draining.
ma-stress?
Oo. Well, mas stress siguro yung being a psychiatrist. I'm so in awe of what they do, right? But so I get to practice psychology, but the masaya part, the positive psychology part, not the diagnosing and I leave that to the other experts. So that's kind of like the quick story as to how that evolved. And then when I think about it as a coach, this is still storytelling because I mean, as a journalist, I tell stories so people can understand things better, maybe improve their lives, hopefully. So, ganyan din ang coaching. I help people edit their own life stories, reassess and edit how they see their lives, how they see themselves. So to me, that's coaching it. That's what creates transformation. When people are able to see, ito pala kaya ko. Or actually, I have resources. I'm just so stuck in my problem. So in essence, coaching is helping people edit their own life story. Yun.
Ganda na, no? Edit your own life story.
Correct.
Can you share siguro yung based on yung the many coaching that you've done, no? Ano yung naging transformation? Kasi for many people, yes, they hear about coaching, kaya lang minsan may parang may stigma pa na nag-work ba yan or hindi or kung ano man. So siguro can you tell us a story, no, ng naging transformation from one of your clients, of course without naming yung mga private details.
Yes, it's very transformative. Like sometimes, like I had one. I'm trying to think. When I was a new coach, I liked to coach young people. And I was coaching the daughter of somebody I knew around whether she was going to work in the DOH because she's a health sciences or health. I forgot the course, but something around managing healthcare. So health sciences. So either she was going to work in DOH or she was going to join this healthcare startup na focused on holistic alternative care. So medyo parang risky yon, di ba? And I remember in just one coaching session, parang, I don't know, I'm so torn. DOH or dito ba? And then when I asked her to tell me what excites you about this, what excites you about that, I could kind of tell that the healthcare startup was exciting. And then, but as a coach, you can't say, alam mo, doon ka excited, di ba? Although I would notice things like, yeah, when you talk about that, it lights up your face. Pero parang wala pa rin. Then towards the end, I was like, is there a question that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you? Kasi I was medyo a new coach. So parang, I ended up asking that very weird question. Then she said, the question is, why the hell do you want to go to DOH? And I would never ask, why the hell would you, right? So I go, okay, answer it. And she goes, because that's where health sciences students go. The DOH is the established institution. I go, okay, so what's that telling you? Okay, you know what? I don't want to go to the DOH. So in one coaching session, something that she was grappling with for months, na-understand na niya, right? Another client was this German businessman who was like, initially told me, I want to think of a new marketing plan for my business. Okay, sounds like a good, I need to get energy and inspiration around this. Okay, then as we were talking, I realized, he told me in our first meeting that, like, kinamusta ko siya. He said, his sister just passed away a week ago. So I was like, I'm so sorry. And then, do you need time? Is this something you want to discuss? This is fresh. And then, remember him saying, no, this is actually why I want coaching. I want to get my mind off of this stuff. I want a marketing plan. And I think that's how I can get out of this stuff. But I think after 2 or 3 sessions, parang I had to tell him, let's call him Bruno, German eh. Bruno, I feel like we've been going around in circles. It's like we're always stuck. Hindi naman siya nagkakaroon ng creative spark around his new marketing plan. So, what is the elephant in the room that I'm not really aware of? I had an inkling, but I wanted it to come from him. And then, German guy, he started sobbing. And he said, it's my sister. And then he poured out his story about how much support he had to give his mom, the family of the sister because she had young kids. Parang it became a very personal and he realized then that I think what I need to focus on is really how to get my energy back. Because syempre, that really took so much away from him. And I said, okay, because that's the beauty of coaching. You may come in with a performance issue, but a lot of times you need to deal with personal, internal stuff before you can creatively think of a new marketing plan for your business, right? So in his case, we had a successful 8 sessions where, we hardly talked about his marketing plan. It was really all about managing his grief and getting his energy back. And guess what? He eventually, on his own, with other marketing experts, he has a brand new spanking marketing plan, and so that's how coaching really works. These are just 2 examples. And I guess I chose those examples because it shows that coaching can be very personal because you can't really perform without being at your best personal form.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I see coaching. Kasi there are coaches that are very performative, which is great. And I can also do that. But I always like to see, what's going on inside you. How ready are you personally, or in terms of your self-leadership? How ready are you to commit, to change, or to tapping into your creativity? So, yeah.
Yeah. I have met many coaches, no. Parang I have respect for the profession kasi parang ako pag iniisip ko as an entrepreneur, I have my own problems. Tapos ito, you really have to love helping people. Kasi di ba, you listen to yung mga problems ng other people and etc. and absorb it. So parang sa akin, hindi ata ako, parang hirap ako na gano'n. No? Where do you get your strength? No? Kasi you talk to many people, different problems, etc. So minsan, of course, baka ma-affect ka. So what do you do and where do you get your strength to help them?
Okay. What you're describing, Jerry, is holding space. And actually, even that, we learned that in our coaching education. So the beingness of the coach, that's actually what you're describing. So even if you decide to become a coach, you can actually be trained to hold space. So that entails me also taking good care of myself. I have coaching supervision. I regularly make sure that I am able to talk to somebody, not just my family or my friends, but talk to somebody who can hold non-judgmental space for me. Because I cannot give what I don't receive. So that's very key. I have a mindfulness practice. Every time before I do a team coaching or even a one-on-one coaching, I take literally a moment to breathe. And I have a little mantra that I say to myself, breathe in. It sounds a bit touchy-feely, but it's like breathe in love, breathe out space. So, because to me, you can't really coach successfully if you don't love your client. Not love as in romantic love, but really love as in you see them as capable, resourceful, and whole. They are not perfect people. No, none of us are. But I can only really work with people who I see as capable, resourceful, and whole. So that's why that's part of my practice. So basically, ayon. And then, of course, my own self-care. I make sure I'm healthy. It really, in a way, coaching, I'm grateful for coaching because it forced me to take better care of myself. And that's how I'm able to hold space and absorb if, let's say, the client is undergoing things that are difficult to process, or you'll hear stories na imbes na maawa ako, I actually, in fact, that's part of the skill of a coach. Hindi ka dapat maawa. You have to have empathy, but no pity. Because if you pity somebody, you're already seeing them as helpless. So, parang if you cannot evoke that empathy and that feeling that, you know what, let's say you're my coachee, Jerry, kaya mo to, without saying it, because that's cheerleading. You also don't want to do that. But you just hold space, like you just are able to be quiet and let the client just say or cry, or feel and think what he or she needs to feel or think. And it's very powerful.
Yeah, galing. So, learning so many things about coaching, no? Yeah, it's a really, kumbaga, different discipline talaga din. And kailangan mong, credentialed, and you took that training, no, to be able to do that service for others. What surprised you the most from media to coaching? May mga differences ba? Ano yung mga nakita mo?
What I'm pleasantly surprised with is that in coaching, it helps if I'm a more relaxed, calm person. So that was a welcome surprise, because in media, it's very relentless. As a producer, I'm constantly problem solving, telling people what to do. People are panicking, then I'll take over. And then in coaching, and this I actually struggled with in the beginning, I have to get out of problem-solving mindset. Because if you're my client and I problem solve for you, then I'm disempowering you. In fact, that's why pag media exec or maybe journalist yung client ko, I have to flex extra muscles, extra anti-bias muscles. Because kinukwentuhan mo ako ng media situation mo, may tendencies, utak ko, nako, Jerry, ingat ka dyan kasi ganyan, it sounds like ganyan. So I have to tamp that down. So that is my pleasant surprise, na parang bagay na rin sa edad ko, na parang you just stand back and let the person do the work. So the biggest surprise is, lazy is good. Be a lazy coach. Kasi, bayaan mo yung client to think of the stuff. You're just there to hold space. And then actually to be curious, which is natural na sa journalist, right? And so what do you mean by that? How do you define that? What makes this important to you? And then you remove all these assumptions of what I'm a media exec. What's important for me is Hindi, you let it all come from the client. So even if I have an assumption in my head, I always default now to asking, what does this mean? Even the way, the meaning of a word, right? Like example, the word empowerment. My definition of that could be different from you, right? Like maybe a leader will say, I want to empower my people. So in my head, I have an assumption what that means. But I always ask, even if it's a very basic definition. And then the other surprise is, oh my gosh, I learned so much from my clients, from their different definitions, from their different perspectives. So many pleasant surprises, actually.
Galing. And as a coach, no, parang you're treating this also as you're an entrepreneur na rin, di ba? Parang in a way managing your coaching business, di ba? Your company. What are the siguro mga 3 lessons, no, that you've entrep lessons that you can share with the viewers natin that you've encountered
3
so
lang?
far?
Okay, sige, let's do the top 3. Marami, but okay, this is very personal. I know actually the fact that, I'm an entrepreneur, that was a surprise for me, because I've always been hired by people. I even had this mindset na, I don't sell, di ako marunong yan. Kasi magaling ako, people just hire me. Ang yabang ko, no? Especially when I was young. People pay me because I'm talented. Di ako marunong mag-sell. But I think the number 1 lesson for me is, to sell is human. Right? We are all selling something. Even in a coaching conversation, I am selling subtly to my client that you can do this, right? So even that, like getting clients without, being so blatant about it, just really sharing a bit of what I know. I mean, that's selling, right? That's influencing them to, maybe I can work with her. So that's my number 1. Selling is human. Number 2 is, for me to really take advantage of my curiosity and my capability to listen. I think that's important for entrepreneurs, or for me as an entrepreneur, because you have to pay close attention and listen to your stakeholders, people in your own team, and of course, your customers. Kasi sometimes we as entrepreneurs have assumptions. Ay, gusto nila to. Kasi last time, yung nag-workshop ako, bentang-benta to. But you know what? You always have to reassess, well, really, what do people want? What do they need from you as a coach? So listening and curiosity is important. And then I guess the number 3 would be building relationships.
Yeah.
Building relationships is key for any entrepreneur. Kumbaga, I learned this from Adam Grant na givers are better entrepreneurs or better business people, better executives. Givers are better than takers. Because if you're a natural giver, you just, naturally want to share value to people. Not necessarily give them everything, but give them a little bit of something. If they become a customer, great. If they don't, you at least have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me as an entrepreneur. I didn't get this particular client, pero, we established a good relationship. And then, later on, he referred me to somebody else. And that somebody else became my client. So, I think those are my core 3 entrepreneurship lessons. But actually, madami pa yan. But let's stick to 3.
Yeah, I'm an accountant, no? So parang talaga, hindi din trained on selling. And I remember one of when I was still working, yung finance director namin, they told us, you have, don't just tell, sell. So sabi niya, don't just tell your analysis or kung ano man ang data that you've seen. You sell your idea. So parang nag-stick sa akin yon. And ngayon, nag-business. Ganon talaga.
I like that. Don't just tell, sell.
Yeah. So,
and then sometimes kasi we equate sell, well, at least me, my old bias was like it's a dirty word or something when it's not. Because as long as your intentions or whatever you're selling is able to help people, it's not. It's actually one of the most honorable things you can do, right?
Yes. Ayun, so dami natin na pag-usapan, simula pa lang po yan. That's the first segment, no? So in the next segments, we'll talk about many things, including defining mentoring and coaching, kasi I think that's one of the confusions for many. We'll also talk about leadership coaching, ano ba yung importante, and of course, later, no, we'll have a sneak peek siguro on what Miss Nikka's tools are in terms of AI. So, yan lang. Maraming salamat. Again, this is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and Tarky, and see you sa next episode ng Olern Insights.